Greetings everybody, Rackhamdar here, welcome back to the channel. Today bringing you another Legends of Runeterra video as always, and today I'm embracing the inner weeb and showing you the Nothing Personal video, deck. This is of course none other than Yasuo, the awesome anime protagonist that we all wish that we could be, or probably not because he's people want him dead, so that's never a good thing. But he does have some pretty awesome anime moments, and the gameplay of Yasuo does have those epic combos and finishers that just feel so satisfying to pull off against your opponent, and leave them, wishing, begging for mercy. Yasuo, let's go and talk about him. Whenever you stun or recall an enemy, he deals 2 damage to it. Pretty self-explanatory. Doubles your, makes your stuns double up as a potential removal tool. And then whenever you do that 5 times, he levels up in order to get the awesome anime level up condition. And now, whenever he's leveled, instead of dealing 2, you strike it, which can be a positive and a negative, double-edged sword here. If your opponent's playing Frostbite, for example, they can, deal, make it so that the strike doesn't do any damage. Frostbite in general is one of the biggest weaknesses against this type of deck, but there's not too many Frostbites going around, and even so, it's pretty uncommon that you'll have that situation arise because you're probably closing out the game before they can really get to that spot where they're trying to deny you a big strike on the leveled up Yasuo. But it also means you can potentially buff Yasuo to deal more, to strike for more. Yasuo's spell is Steel Tempest, which is one of the worst cards in the game. Stun an attacking enemy. This is not a battling enemy, which is very, very unfortunate because this would be such a good card if it was a battling enemy. It's an attacking enemy. Your opponent has to be attacking you. You can't be attacking them. So this is a really crappy card, pretty much. And thankfully, we do have another card called Concussive Palm to make up for it. This is just a fantastic card. Came with the new expansion and really made Yasuo much more playable and versatile as a deck and archetype. So that's pretty much how Yasuo works. We're building around him. He's one of the few pure build-around champions in the game at the moment. A lot of champions, you do build around them. You do try to make the deck synergize with them, but Yasuo requires the entirety of the deck, for the most part, to synergize with his level up and stun conditions. So that's what we're doing. We have a lot of ways to stun the enemy. We have lots of synergy with those stuns. Arachnoid Sentry, Concussive Palm, these are the two earlier game cards, and this is just a fantastic card. He does also work with recall, so we're also playing Will of Ionia. And Katarina, whenever she recalls back to the hand, that does also trigger his level up. So Katarina has a lot of good synergy with the deck. Intimidating Roar is the big anime finisher. You're probably you're most of the time playing this on round 5, because if you don't, your opponent will eventually get cards on the field with more than 4 power. As you can see, stun all enemies with 4 or less power, and that can be a big deterrent. Detriment to the card, as if the game goes on for too long, they might be able to buff up their card or their unit in order to bypass the stun. But if they don't have a way to deal with this card, Yasuo just goes crazy and just wipes the field, dashing through his enemies like they're nothing, and just obliterates the entire opponent's board. And it's got the sickest animation. One of the most satisfying combos to pull off is Yasuo with the Intimidating Roar, as he just goes in and just blows his opponent to smithereens. And then we do have 3 copies of Minotaur Reckoner. This is actually the MVP of the deck because he basically enables you a win condition without Yasuo, which we'll talk about in a brief moment. But basically, at the start of the round, he stuns the weakest enemy. This allows you to pick apart your opponent's board with the Yasuo, but it also allows you to potentially stun enough enemies to get lethal in. And then finally, we are playing Yasuo's brother Yone. The Wind Chaser has his play effect is to stun 2 enemies, which of course synergizes with Yasuo, as you might expect. They're brothers after all, even if he probably wants to kill Yasuo. Pretty sure he wants to kill Yasuo, I don't know why, but there's some beef there. I think Yasuo did something, I'm not sure. but I'm not super up to date with the lore. But yeah, I know he, they're not the closest brothers in the world. So yeah, that's pretty much all the stuns, and then we have a lot of earlier game cards too, with Crimson Disciple, Fey Blade Twirler, I almost said that backwards, House Spider, and Arachnoid Sentry. Transfusion as well as a 3 of, because this card is fantastic. It's a really strong way to keep your earlier units alive. It's only 2 mana, and since we are running Disciple, it can be used to trigger some additional damage to our opponent's Nexus. But the reasoning for most of this early game stuff is because right now, burn aggro is disgusting. Like, really, really, really strong. As I'm recording this on the 8th of May, the meta is almost completely built around the king of the meta, which is the burn aggro deck. It is so consistent, really easily able to just close out games incredibly fast, and because of that, our deck does not like it. I think most of my losses are against the burn aggro deck. I don't think I was able to beat it once. I came really close in one of the matches where we got down to the last HP, but we just weren't able to close it out. They just are able to consistently get that damage in, especially if you are unlucky enough to draw your late game whenever you're looking for your early game. Ravenous Flock is another new card from the expansion. This is another Noxus card that is really, really strong. Deal 4 damage to a unit if it's damaged or stunned, which can really help some interesting combos. If our opponent blocks our house spiders, or our house spiders take some blocks, we can use that. Katarina herself will summon a Blade's Edge on play, which is a really powerful effect. One of the main reasons to use Katarina in the earlier games, obviously if it's a control matchup, we want to level up Katarina and get her rally effect to constantly go off so that we can deal a lot of damage. But if our opponent is playing an earlier aggressive deck, the Blade's Edge is a lot more valuable. This was something that came up a lot in the aggro matchups. I would play Katarina for the Blade's Edge. And we can use that Blade's Edge in combination with Ravenous Flock as well, because it does 1 damage. We can obviously deal 1 damage and then deal 4 damage for 5 damage total, which can be pretty powerful removal at 2 mana. So lots of really good synergy here. Shoutouts to Mogwai for building the deck, because, he's just a fantastic deck builder. I will not take credit at all for this deck because I took pretty much the entire list from him. He is someone who has been able to consistently build a lot of lists that are not very needing of adjustments, and so I didn't feel the need to make too many adjustments. I did make 1, but so, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's a really good, solid deck. I did pretty well on stream, and of course you'll see a lot of those from the gameplay, as I'm going to be showing you the stream clips. But yeah, it's just a really fantastic deck list here. I really like it. I was actually a little worried because there's no card draw, as you'll notice, but once you start getting the feel for the deck and really understanding it, you'll not really need that extra card draw. You have to pay really close attention to how the match is going and really get the most value that you can out of your cards. You can't just, sack cards willy-nilly. You can't just go stunning all the time. You have to play them smart. You have to play them patiently and be able to not, just go super crazy with your cards, because like I said, we don't have that card draw to rely on. And so because of that, we have to make the most out of each card that we draw, and that can be the trickiest aspect of the deck. Additionally, as I was about to say earlier, playing around not drawing Yasuo is a very important skill to have when you're playing this deck. Yasuo is only 3 copies. There's no search card. We don't have something like the Leviathan that we can use to search for Yasuo. He's only got 3 of, and because of that, we have to make sure that we're not we have the ability to still win without Yasuo. So you have to play your stuns very efficiently and use the effects of Minotaur Reckoner, Yone, and the other stuns that we have, as well as Katarina. Use her recall, and using these different tools to their, the best of your ability in order to power through your opponent as they have a stunned board, even though Yasuo is not, in play. As something that is, one of the biggest things that I learned as I was playing this deck was how to play around Yasuo. So one of the biggest changes that I made, well not biggest, one of the slight changes I made was putting in Jeweled Protector. Jeweled Protector is the replacement for Legion General, I believe it's called. Legion General, where you at? Yeah, Legion General. Legion General just wasn't really... Every time I drew this card, I never really wanted it in my hand. And even on certain games where I was able to get a bunch of stuns off in order to have his 1/1 buffing effect go off, it didn't feel necessary. It was a little bit... It was just a card that I didn't want in my hand. And so I decided to switch it out with Jeweled Protector instead, because I felt like this guy buffs himself, this guy buffs other stuff, and I really do like the ability to potentially buff Yasuo by 3. This puts him up to an 8/8, which could give you, you know, just a much better board clearing potential. You know, Katarina doesn't get buffed because she recalls to the hand, but something like Yasuo, even something like Fey Blade Twirler to make them harder to remove. There's a lot of stuff you could do with the Jeweled Protector. I will admit that in the gameplay you'll see both of them. I haven't played enough with the Protector. I removed him a little bit later in the stream. I have most of my footage with the Legion General, kind of just sitting there doing nothing. So I don't really have a full test or a full sample size to kind of get an idea on how I would, you know, how the Jeweled Protector plays out. But that was my decision. I just felt like this would be a little bit more valuable, potentially, you know, giving us, like, we can play him on curve, right? You don't really want to play the Legion General on curve unless you have been really popping off on your opponent and stunning the hell out of them. So this, he just feels a little more natural to include, as we can get a little bit, I feel like he's just a little more valuable. There's, you know, there's other cards that we could potentially play in replacement of him. I haven't really, that was the different slot. I don't think we want a 6-drop because we have a lot of 6 and 7 drops already. So I think 5-drop or lower. There's really not too many additional cards that I can think of that I would really want. Maybe if there's maybe something like the Decisive Maneuver could be interesting to include, but for the most part I felt like this was just a really solid copy at 1 that we could use to you know, buff up our stuff and make the later stages of the game a little better, feel a little better. So anyway, that's going to be it for the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, of course, leave a like down below. It really helps out the channel. And let me know if you guys are enjoying this variety. I personally am as well, being able to play a bunch of different decks. I have a couple of personal kind of theory crafted ideas for Yasuo that I'm going to try to explore in my own type of deck. There is a couple of ideas that I have rolling around in my head that I want to test out in the future. But for now, this is what we have. And I hope you guys enjoy the Yasuo, because he's a lot of fun to play. Hope you guys play him as well. And of course, if you want to see more Legends of Runeterra content on the channel, hit that subscribe button and bell notification icon. I will let you know that within the next couple of weeks, there's going to be a little bit more stream highlight type videos. I think I mentioned this in my previous video as well. Instead of this more edited type content, because I am in the process of moving, so I'm trying to get a lot of content out that I can, you know, just kind of post to kind of fill that gap, so that when I eventually get back to normal and settle down in my new place, I'll be able to return to this type of content. But yeah, that's going to be it for the deck, or for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later. Okay, Biz with Twisted Fate. Biz Twisted Fate, let's go. This is going to be a pretty tough matchup. I think I want to keep Yasuo. Do I want to? I think the mulligan phase in this deck is actually a really difficult one. So, do I keep the intimidating? I think we'll keep intimidating roar. It actually could help us here. We got the transfusion. I like deny as well. Double transfusion. Not a fan of this curve here.
Think you're fast? Cute.
How come Demacia gets a 3 mana 4/4?
On top of the bounty board today.
Oh, that sucks so bad. Oh man, I need to get Bilgewater in my mind. When Bilgewater does stuff, I always like forget stuff. This is such a good card, by the way. Permanently granting vulnerable is just insane. At least they can't kill it right away. Yo, that's good. That is fantastic.
Let me at him. Don't stand in my way.
He's gonna have something.
Son of a...
I feel like he was banking on Make It Rain, so that's why we did that. That is why we did that. Okay, 7 mana. I just realized he's only playing Bilgewater here. Twisted Fate's a problem. I think we open attack. We don't want Twisted Fate to diminish this board. And if he has an answer outside of Twisted Fate, yeah. Wow, he high rolled the fuck out of that. We did have 4 mana. We could have potentially denied that.
Never lost a fair game, or played one.
Could deny that. Jerk's trying to kill my unit.
Dead in their tracks.
Follow the wind, but watch your back.
I'm not greedy.
Nice.
My friends, though.
It doesn't work, friend. It's not targeting a fizz. It's just stunning everything. Nothing personal.
Yep.
Got another fizz.
This is gonna be fun.
He's gonna trade the fizz. Okay.
Ow.
That's an interesting play. Bum ba-dum ba-bum bum ba-dum ba-bum bum bum ba-dum. I think we'll just go for it. Stealing my card? That's totally my card right there.
Quick footwork, fast strikes.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
Alright, we're in a pretty good spot, I feel. We're gonna start the Reckoner this turn if he taps out. If he passes, we pass. Make it rain. Sure.
Boys.
I mean, I don't really care about 3 damage. Okay, solo Bilgewater at 7 mana, so he could have. There is a card that deals 7 damage by tossing 2. Does this deck play it? Because that's pretty much the only major threat.
Anything for the right coin.
This might be a bit greedy.
Yeah, bud.
Oh, just carrier. That's fine. We take 7 damage here.
Heavy pockets, huh?
All right. I mean, we just drew the Yasuo here. So,
Face my fate.
do we just go in? We have tools, yeah, we just go in.
Came to wrong place.
Oh, it's an attacking... Dude, this is such a bad card. Why is this even a card? I always think it's stun a battling enemy. Get some healing, I guess. And then if he goes for something else, we can Will of Ionia.
My kind of lessons.
Oh boy, here I go!
Another fizz. I think we're in a pretty good spot here. Alright, so he's going to go for some card draw. Going to be very devastating. He'll have a really strong, potentially next turn play. I think we just pass here. And this will let us kill... It's the weakest enemy, so Fizz gets targeted here. Okay, so no longer Fizz. And now we can do this.
Terrain here is opinionated. Destiny waits.
It's nothing personal, kid.
You should stay back, cowards.
Bam. Ho 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 ho. Nice. Okay, ye been warned. We have enough mana. Yasuo's what, 4? So we have enough mana. We do not have enough mana for these two. So I think what we'll do is we'll just activate the stun, right?
Keep up, keep up!
Okay. Getting a lot of value out of these 3 cards. Unfortunately, we lose the ability to deal with a elusive unit, which could give him plunder. Unless we activate So I can't play this and these two. So we'll pass for now and see what he does. I might play these two, honestly. But if he has like a damaging, a damage-based removal, then it kind of screws me over. I think we just take the plunder, right? I think we just take plunder. Oh, yo, go, go! I don't know what he said. I'm gonna try to say it anyway. We still want to be able to, like, this is still a lethal board state for us. Okay, yeah, I figured as much. So he's got one of our cards, which doesn't really help him at all, unless it's a flock, a ravenous flock. If he just drew our 1 mana spell that deals damage, then we want to save transfusion. That's what we'll do.
There's plenty of killing left.
Okay. I feel like he uses that there if he has it. Like, there's no world in which you don't just instantly Ravenous Flock, I feel, unless he's trying to bait out my mana. Which is very, very possible. Very, very possible. I don't think I have to play into Ravenous Flock. I think we just pass. We're in a positive state here.
I'll try anyway.
Alright, so this is my card. He stole the Crimson Disciple. So now I feel a little more safe doing this.
Guess that's one way to do it.
There we go. Played it out smartly. Killed both of those. Bam. Now we just go in for the biggest swing of our life. Yeah, there we go. GG. Feels better. When we draw Yasuo, it feels so much better. That's the key, right? That's how we play. Just draw Yasuo. Alright. Swain Twisted Fate. We saw this just recently, I think. We could keep deny. Is there a threat? Is there a big deny threat that we have to deal with? I'm not too certain about that. I wonder if it's worth it to hard mulligan for Yasuo. I think in this hand state we keep Yasuo because we have House Spider. And I think I want protection. So we'll drop the deny. Though I guess in some ways you can say deny is protection. Oh boy. Okay. So I think we go for House Spider here. And now this is a pretty prime open attack, I feel. So 3 mana. He does have the ability, if he has the Noxus spells like that are similar to Mystic Shot, or the one that deals 3 damage by killing a unit. We don't want to see that, so open attack. Okay. So he's playing kegs. Next turn is definitely a Twisted Fate play. He's gonna open the Twisted Fate to kill both of these units. Pretty much guaranteed. Now the question is, do we play Katarina for the keg? Katarina's not really a big win condition, maybe. In this hand state, it might be. I think we'll pass. Okay. Hey, Yolen's here. He's gonna drop Twisted Fate. There's no way you don't drop Twisted Fate here. I think we are okay burning mana more than he is. Is this the play? He's gonna summon another one, right? I think we have a lot of room to play aggressively. We could use Katarina. We'll play Katarina, he'll play Twisted Fate. And we Blade's Edge the Powder Keg. But he still has 4 mana to use any of his other removals. So I think we'll go for it though.
Let the bloodshed begin.
Deal me in.
Well, if we kept Deny, we could even just straight up deny that.
It's just a nick. Blood for Noxus.
Oh. Noxian Guillotine. That is definitely a spicy one. Ooh, Intimidating Roar. We could play it with Yasuo this turn. He's playing very reactively.
Safety will cost you.
Damn, he stole one of my cards. That's not good.
Follow the wind, but watch your back.
And we drop Yasuo here. Wonder what he'll play. Three mana. Not sure there's anything that can kill Yasuo in this situation. Okay, parlay.
Big blade for a little warrior.
Underestimate me. I dare you.
Alright, so he's going hard, stealing my cards, which is pretty annoying. So we have to be a little careful of deny potential. But I think here we open with Fae and try to get him to play mana.
Strikes.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
If he taps below deny, we Intimidating Roar. We run 2 deny, and he did draw like 4 or 5 cards from our deck, so I do want to play around that slight possibility at the beginning. Eventually we just can't play around that, but for now we have that ability, which thankfully we used to our advantage. Can't deny this now. And that's actually game if he doesn't have anything to kill these two. Three mana, not much he can do. They're all stunned. Alright, so we did have... Now we can finish him off. GG. Oh man, that's such a satisfying win condition. Holy crap.
Step closer to redemption.
Steal my cards more. Steal my cards more. As I thought. We've been trying to reach you concerning your vehicle's extended warranty. Katarina's not terrible, I don't think. I'm not sure. They always give me that, and I'm like, dude, I don't have a car. There's no extended warranty. Alright, so we have Nautilus Deep. I think we'll go for the Crimson Disciple. So what are the deep cards? Dredgers or whatever it's called?
I'll try anyone once.
He could play the 3 mana spell. Oh, that's
I love a taste of the
one of them. Okay, another Disciple, which is pretty nice. I wish we had Transfusion in this hand, but alas, we do not.
Fresh is worth at least twice as much.
Never.
Play the Katarina here. No mana to play another unit, and we're just gonna kill his Blade's Edge. Or kill his Blade's Edge. We're gonna kill him with Blade's Edge. I love that Katarina buff so much. So nice. Never play fair. Intimidating Roar. We could play Yasuo on curve, which gives us Roar on 5 into a lot of big damage.
To the point.
I think we'll go for this.
They'll never know what killed.
Oh. I was gonna do violence solves everything. So here he wants to... Depending on which version, he could be running Grasp, which is something that he would have used in combat.
Isles will be cleansed.
Okay.
Death is like the wind, always by my
So this is unfortunate. I'm actually really hoping he gets a sapling here. We're gonna Intimidating Roar the hell out of this board.
Protect our
Nice. Oh, I love that he got rid of his Obliterate unit. And that levels up Yasuo. Okay, so he's gonna Glimpse, which does prevent the Yasuo level up. Okay. Unfortunate. Pretty close to his toss requirement here. I might go for this. Maokai is fairly similar to, somewhat similar to Heimerdinger, in that you do want to remove him because he can generate a lot of value. So let's see. We could stun this guy. I think I'm going to play the Fae.
Quick footwork, fast strikes.
Don't let the fluffy tails fool you.
And then we'll see if he can summon another one. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. So kill that guy.
I will follow this path until the end. The blade never gets any lighter.
We want to threaten a lot of damage. This unit can't kill anything, so we're actually comfortable letting him block these units, even though they won't kill it. 10 damage. Let's go. Really close. We do have Katarina, so we can potentially rally. I wish we had another form of like removal. I think we can Will of Ionia if he summons something like Nautilus or something big. He's finally in deep, so this is pretty unfortunate. Hopefully he doesn't have the obliterate one. Okay. I mean, so the obliterate costs 6 mana, so he doesn't have obliterate. He has 5 mana left. What is the play? Do we go for the Katarina here? He did give me a preemptive pass. I feel like we could just Yone. Good House Spider to go wide into Katarina. I mean, if we play Katarina, he has to start threatening. I think we play Katarina. If he kills Katarina, we are cool. If he kills Blade Twirler, we're cool. If he kills most of our stuff, we're pretty cool. Okay.
Only fools hesitate.
Okay, so we have lethal here. Okay, so that's how does he block? Blocks the Yasuo for 5. I think we have lethal regardless. No, because Crimson Disciple does not give us lethal. If we top deck at Transfusion, we win guaranteed. He will kill the Yasuo here. Right? Because he blocks these two. 100% he blocks these two. Katarina swings in. So that's 4. So he'll go down to 1 HP. I think we're gonna do it like this.
Underestimate me. I dare you.
Oh, snap. I forgot he still had an attack. That's alright. Really not too many things. Like 6 damage is fine here. So we want to go wide here. So that we can actually go for lethal, I think. Yeah. Alright, so we have Will of Ionia now. We can open attack.
Life and death on the blade's edge.
Okay. If he gets rid of the Yasuo, we do have... I assume he'll probably try to stun the Yasuo with Nautilus's ability. Or, not ability, but... Spell. Because Nautilus has a stun himself. And we have 2 Katarina chances here. You lose. Nice try. Nice try. GG. Nothing personal. Personnel. Haha. He didn't even let me get the Yasuo kill on it. Hasaki! Unlike champions, followers cannot level up. How cool would it be? No, that's unique to the champions. I'd say that's fine. I was like, how cool would it be if followers could level up? I think we get rid of you and search for a Yasuo. There we go. I don't know, I just like having Yasuo. I think that's something we should mulligan for. Misfortune Sejuani is pretty spooky, actually. Misfortune in general is a really scary card. Luckily, they're not playing Scouts. Scouts with Misfortune's pretty disgusting. Alright. Ooh, another Yasuo. He's got the monkey, too.
Fight or die.
I would love to trade House Spooter into this guy. He could have a Frostbite. Are you...
The Winter's Claw.
It could be the Elixir. I have to take this block, I feel. Yeah. I don't think there's a world in which I can't... or where I pass that block up. Katarina is nice. I like you. I actually think I want to get value out of the Blade's Edge since we have Ravenous Flock. If we didn't have this in our hand, I would definitely play Katarina and go for attacks and attack with her. Since we have Ravenous Flock in hand, I think getting some value out of her Blade's Edge could be very valuable. Unfortunately, we don't have any of our stun cards.
Fire knows its own.
There we go.
No going back.
I think this is an okay
It's just an nick.
trade here. Ember Maiden, 2 rounds of Ember Maiden is definitely not a good thing. Ho ho! You spoil me. His deck goes pretty high power though, so this is going to be a very difficult thing to resolve. Unlike the other decks we've faced so far, going wide is not his battle plan. He wants ginormous units. Do we pass the open for an open attack? He's burning some mana. And Yasuo is good and all, but I do think I think we take this. This makes our Katarina less vulnerable with stuff.
Blood for Noxus.
He is playing Piltover. Or not. Why do I keep mixing up Piltover and Bilgewater? But he is playing Bilgewater, so he could have some removal.
They'll never know what killed him.
I'm cool with that. Like I was saying a little earlier, because we don't run draw, we have to make sure our cards get the most value they possibly can. We can't just kind of sack them away. And I think Katarina, I personally think Katarina got a ton of value there. His next card's going to be Freljord because he didn't hit the proc from this guy. So I think here we develop wide.
Think you're fast? Cute.
Into Disciple. I mean, 4 mana. Does he have... Next turn he'll have... He might be getting Sejuani next turn. That's kind of scary. He might be getting his Sejuani next turn, which kind of scares me.
I'll try anyone once.
So next turn, we can Intimidating Roar into Katarina, right? So we'll have 6 plus 3 is 9, which is... Yeah, so we'll have enough for that. Which I think is pretty good. We'll also have the same combo with Yasuo. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to play Will of Ionia in order to kill or deal with the Sejuani. But if he tries to go for some other stuff like Misfortune and other Bilgewater low, if he tries to develop, then we can actually play that combo instead. So, high chance he just top decks Sejuani. Deals 4 damage. Unfortunately, this is the only stun card. Our only stun card. Okay, so he's gonna go for a plunder.
Don't ask where it's from. Ask
Okay.
how much.
Alright, the question being, do we want to attack this turn or do we want to level Yasuo? I mean, Yasuo is not a huge deal here. Burning this much mana, though, is not super nice. I do want to try to be somewhat efficient. I think we'll play Yasuo.
Death is like the wind, always by my side.
Always by my side.
Smell that barg? Fear.
Maybe we should have went for Katarina. That's so unfortunate. We'll be able to open attack though. Okay. I like the concussive palm.
Blade never gets any lighter.
Alright, so we have to play this out smart. We have to play this smart. judging from the way he's kind of sitting here and thinking, I want to say he's not gonna have removal. He's debating whether or not he should lose his units here. Is that okay? Get 4 damage in. You'd think the Yasuo card would be better than the Concussive Palm, but it's not.
Destruction feeds my fire.
Alright. That is a problem. I think we'll go in another Katarina, right? 5. He can't play Sejuani. Sejuani's 6, right? I believe. Yeah, she's 6. We can't play Sejuani. Ember Maiden will proc my own thing, so I think going in for a lot of damage. Like, what's the highest? 5 mana. He hasn't procced Plunder, so he can't use the wolf thing. So I think we'll go in for Katarina here. Attack again. Because this is going to proc my Crimson Disciple, which actually adds a good amount of damage to him. I think we'll do this. Never play fair. The wind always triumphs. He did plunder. I think he did hit plunder on my own cards. I believe we did kill that one card that steals. Yeah. Oh, you are not. That is not good, my friend. That is not good, my friend. Unless you have a 1 mana card. That is exactly what I like to see. Tap yourself out.
Only fools hesitate.
It's pretty disgusting. Katarina now leveling up Yasuo mid-combat too. Yep. There we go. let's go. Holy crap, this deck is popping off.
I will regain my honor.
I will. Brother, I'm sorry to have let you down. But we are crushing fools now.